Sophie Cordell. She's in ninth grade. She's on the girls' soccer team and varsity flag football team. And she's also an ID. So she's loving that. And I am a marketing director working for high tech companies, really focusing on search AI and observability and security. So I work remote all day. So hence why I'm dressed the way I am.
Yes, it's great to meet you.
All right, I'll go ahead and go. I'm Jason Lohr. I'm father to Noah Lohr, who's in 10th grade, also an ID.
We do have.
Oh, look at that! I know that kid. Incredible. Yeah, I am an audiovisual engineer for Comcast. I work 90% in the office, but every Fridays I'll work from home. So that's who I am.
And I'm Lisa McMenemy. My daughter is Isla in 10th grade, and she's in the ID program as well. And I work in Shopper Insights is my area in my department. And I also work remote when I'm not traveling as well. So I am in my home office today.
Yes, it's great to meet all of you. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of our focus group. So like we said, we're just going to have a little discuss about multiple different things, start off very vague, and then we'll work our way through some more questions. We really want this to be more of a conversation than us asking questions and y'all answering. But again, it should take around 45 minutes to an hour. So we'll start with, has your child ever attended a summer camp? And if so, what type? Did they enjoy it? All of the things.
I can, go ahead. Well, so I guess I should ask, like, so I could answer a few different summer camps. Is there anything in particular that you're trying to find out, or you just want to know all of it?
We want to know all of it.
Yes,
tell us everything.
All of it right now, and then we'll get a little deeper with more specific questions later on.
Okay. Well, Isla typically goes to gymnastics camp every summer, and she goes to the one that she's found that she likes does gymnastics a lot, but they also offer other activities, which is what she likes about it. They do things like tubing, and they have a dance party, and I don't even like volleyball games and different activities that you would typically find at camp, along with the gymnastics. So I think that's what she likes about it. It's not just all gymnastics. And then in the past, she also went to Girl Scout camp, which had like all of the arts and crafts, and you stayed in the cabin and all of those types of things.
Yeah, and for Sophie, she's been going to sleepaway camp since she was 7. So she's been going to High Harbor since then, still going for 3 weeks this summer. She always does several soccer camps. And then when she was younger, we did a lot of art camps and church camps and neighborhood things like that. Keep her busy.
Yeah, and Noah has been going to camps for a little while. He started off doing a Jewish sleepaway camp, Camp Barney. He did that for a number of years. And then this last year, he did this group called West Coast Connections, I think is what it's called. And he's where they traveled all around the West Coast and experienced a lot of different cities and a lot of different things. Think you had a good time?
Yes. So it sounds like a lot of the things that your kids do at the camp is something that they're interested in outside of school like Isla in gymnastics or Sophie in soccer. So along with those things, is there anything else that they enjoy doing outside of school, whether that's with learning or without it?
Yeah, I mean, so Noah really likes tech and technology, computers. So he'll do a lot of stuff like that outside of school.
Yes, that's great.
I don't know. I would say Isla's life is gymnastics. So that's gymnastics and spending time with friends is pretty much her life. So yeah, that's what her camps revolve around.
And I would say Sophie's the same between club soccer and school soccer. She doesn't have much of a life other than when she can, she wants to be sociable with her friends and all that good stuff. So that's pretty much where she spends her time.
When when your kids come home from camp, what else do they tend to do during the summer? How does it like a week might look in their summer?
It can depend. I mean, I think, if Sophie's coming off a camp where she's gone for 3 weeks, she's probably going to come home and just crash for a week and just be super tired and all that good stuff. Or she's out trying to reconnect with all the friends because she hasn't had a phone for 3 weeks or technology or anything. But I think as parents, we want to keep them busy. We don't want them to be on their phones or on technology 24/7 during the summer. So it's encouraging them to be doing other things and getting out there. And then now with kids getting older and having the opportunity to hopefully maybe find a summer job and, chores and do more pitch in, you just have to do that as they grow older. That's age appropriate.
Yep. I think, with Noah, he does a lot of sleeping in. So we try to discourage that as much as possible. It usually doesn't work. But I know we, as a family, we always take a long road trip. So a good chunk of the summer is taken up with our road trips. This year we're going out west, actually, see Mount Rushmore and Area 51. No, I'm sorry, Roswell, not Area 51. We're going to Roswell. But I think this year, though, just like Molly said, that Noah's probably going to be looking for a job this summer. So hopefully he'll do that.
Yes, it's great that there's so many similarities.
So I want to get back on topic about what do these kids enjoy about the summer camps? Like you mentioned a couple of things, but I like when they come home, when they so excited, what is their reaction when they go to summer camp and then after summer camp?
I think it's mixed. I think she's always really excited to be home because she usually goes for a couple weeks. So she's excited to be home and see her friends. But she also, one thing I've noticed is because they don't have their phones while they're at camp, she kind of comes home with not, I want to say in a better mood, but she just kind of feels different because she hasn't had her phone for a little while. So it's really interesting to see that kind of mood shift from not having that phone and then she won't look at it as much for a few days after she hasn't had it because it's less of a habit. So, but she's always really excited to be home and just kind of getting back in the routine too.
Yeah, and I would just say, for Sophie this year, because it's the next step of the counselor in training. So this is your last step, and then if you're accepted into the program, then this becomes her summer job of where she works for however many weeks. So she loves to tell me this is her last year in paying for camp, and that going forward she'll get paid to work there. But I think for them, it's High Harbor is all outdoor activities. You're on lakes, you're climbing, you're doing all types of outdoor stuff. You're socializing. It's a co-ed camp, so there's a lot of fun and aspects there. I think the older you get in camp, the more respect you have being an older camper type of thing. But yeah, she either comes home pretty sick from camp and no voice and tired, but I think it's just really the social, and she flat out says like she's so glad that she does have to give up her phone because she's fully engaged and focused and just having fun.
Yes, that's great to hear.
I'll ditto that too. Noah's definitely his attitude and his reliance on his phone is changed when he comes back, and that swiftly goes back to normal. But we like to see that at least a week he's changed a little bit as far as interacting with us and again not being reliant on his cell phone.
Yes. So we're going to pivot a little bit because we've heard about your child's experience at camp and their overall joy and love for it. But as a parent, what has been your overall experience sending your child away to summer camp?
I mean, it's been, for me, it's great. I mean, obviously, because she goes year after year. I think all of us as parents have experienced, when our children had to go during COVID and had to be tested before going, and then, kids being sent home because they're sick and you're not quite sure what's happening and some of those dynamics, and they don't have their phones, so you can't check in to see how they're doing. So you put a lot of trust into the camp, and hopefully, they will reach out, tell you your kid's sick or whatever. But we've always said it. I feel like when Sophie comes home, she looks like she's 2 inches taller. Like it's just this moment of growth. So while there can sometimes be that, yes, they go away, they get sick, there's been COVID, there's been all the things, the positive of camp far outweigh, that hesitation of not sending them or not spending the money on summer camp. It can be expensive.
Yeah. Is there any other thoughts of your experience as a parent?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always just excited for her to go just because she's so excited. And I think there's just always a little bit of nervousness because she goes the same place for the last few years, but she goes without necessarily knowing who's going to be there or who's going to be in her cabin. So you never know, if it's going to be a good mix, or even if there's going to be like kids her age, or so I'm always anxious to get that first phone call just to hear everything's great and she loves everybody in her cabin and everything worked out. I always like getting that first phone call just to hear everything's great and that it's going well. But otherwise, just excited for her to get to go.
So being the dad, I'm it's a little different experience as far as having my children leave the house. I'm okay. Oh, bye. I know. All right. Have a great time. Keep in touch. Whereas his mother is quite the opposite. Is just like Lisa said, excited to hear the first phone call or get a letter or just what do you think he's doing right now? How do you think he's doing? I'm assuming he's doing well. We haven't heard anything different, but I for me though. The experience has been great. When I grew up, I never went to camp. I never, and sleepaway camp was something I never even heard of. So, so the experience that he's having, I'm excited for him that he's able to do that. Is something that I never experienced when I was a kid.
Yeah, we heard like the positives. Are there any negatives or that you'd want to improve about whether that's your experience or your child's experience at sleepaway camp or camp in general?
I can't think of any negatives.
No.
No.
I mean, yeah. So, some people might complain about the food, or I don't know, but I don't know. I think it's just, it is what it is, and yeah, it depends on where you pick too, I guess, and it depends on each person. Some people are more picky than others, but I don't. But yeah, overall, we haven't had anything that I would say we would want to improve.
Yes, that's great to hear.
I think, I would just say communication is key. So some camps do a really good job of communicating while they're there. As parents, so you also look for them in the pictures, because then you kind of see, like, are they doing well or doing good? And I used to play this game with Sophie when she was little to get in as many pictures as she could, and I'd give her $1 so that way I could see her like through the week because I couldn't talk to her. But I will say this past year, at High Harbor, she was there the first 2 weeks, and there was like a whole outbreak of flu, and her whole cabin was quarantined. They weren't allowed to eat with other kids and all that, and they never communicated that to the parents. And the only reason why I knew that is I got a letter from her saying that she was so sick. And that really made me upset. And I called the camp and I was like, how sick is she? Like, what's going on? And they're like, do you want us to do a well check? And I was like, yes. And they didn't call me back for over 24 hours. So that was a little disappointing. Now, is that the norm? No. Has she been going there for more than, 7 years? Yes. Is she going back? Yes, because it's her favorite place on earth. But communication is key with parents.
Yes, that's such a great insight about communication, not just with summer camp, but in general, communication is such a key skill.
I say on that note, I kind of want a kind of communication. It's kind of like, how did you like find these camps? How did you discover them? Was it through social media, family, friends, schools?
It is word of mouth that because if you're in the gymnastics world, you hear about which of the camps are the good ones and, which ones that everybody goes to. But I think she had a really good point too, is that you don't really think of things to improve until something goes wrong or you have a bad experience. So we've been lucky that we haven't, but yeah, anytime that there is like a bad experience, like maybe with safety or something like that, that's always a lookout, or security, I would say. But yeah, we just hear like for our camps through our sport, basically through word of mouth.
Yeah, the Camp Barney is a camp that's been around for a long, long time. So it's through the community and through the we knew about it, but the West Coast Connections one, I think Noah's mom did a lot of research, searching online, and found this one and found it to be the best one.
Great, yes. What about High Harbor for Sophie?
So many kids in Atlanta go there. So it's just, I think it's more of that social aspect of so-and-so's going, I want to go type of thing. So you have different pockets of groups that go to a lot of the well-known summer camps.
Yes, so a lot of word of mouth as well, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're all probably sitting there wondering, like, why are we having you on this focus group?
Not yet. We don't
We're
describe
moving
it.
to level.
I know. I did this yesterday.
But the main reason is we're working a lot on budgeting for a camp that we're working with. And it's more of an educational type camp. But say you were to enroll your child in more of an educational aspect of a camp, what would most likely make that appealing to you?
If it helped them towards, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Lisa. Go ahead.
Maybe if it helped them towards getting like a class that went towards college credit or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's something that would help their education in school in the future, or and really what kind of what would they be learning? That would be the main question, obviously.
Yes. Yeah, of course, there are a bunch of different types of camps and different types of summer camp programs that are educational, but I think a lot towards college credit is an important aspect as well.
How long would you expect like a 6? I'd say if you're looking for like a place like for like a 6-day educational camp, and how much would you consider like a price point would be?
Would it be sleepaway?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, usually they start at what, $1,500 starting price, I guess.
Okay.
So around, I don't know, 2,000. Just throwing numbers out there, but
I think that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it kind of depends what all comes with it too.
Exactly.
You know, so there's going somewhere and just they stay there. But if there's activities involved in going off site or other type of field trips or different things, then that usually ticks up a price.
Mm-hmm.
And the length too, obviously the length of the summer camp.
Right.
Yes.
Let's say if we like triple that price of 2K to like 6K, and it's like 6 days, what would make that price point worth it? What would make you guys want to pay for that price?
6K for 6 days.
Yes.
Interesting.
It would need to help them get ahead somehow. Like this will help them get ahead. Like this will make their next school year easier in this way.
Okay. Any other thoughts on what would make it worth it?
Well, I mean, that's a lot of money, I think, for 6 days. So, you know, I think that there's also trade-offs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some folks like could do all of it, but sometimes you may have to make the choice of, okay, then if we're doing this educational camping at $6,000 and we can't do something else. So it is, what's the goal that we're trying to achieve? Are they going to get ahead? Will they get class credit? Like, is the spend overall going to be worth it? You know, that makes you like be like, yeah, this is an investment for our family from a budget perspective, and here's the why behind it of why we think it's of value. It's just same thing if parents decide of should we do an interim trip or should we not this year. You know, you weigh those different types of budgetary things and you know figure out what's the best objective as they're going through their journey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in that way, like if let's just pretend if it were a sports camp, if there were going to be college scouts there, that would make it so like that might make it more of an investment. So if it were connected to a college somehow, if there was somehow maybe if it were at a college or had a connection to a college that would help students, that would maybe help them figure out a path that they would have in the future, some sort of investment, like she said.
And I've
Yes.
also heard some folks that have done it as you could call it camp or almost like an internship based on kids that have like an interest and think, hey, I'm really into tech or engineering, and there might be a chance I'd really like to go to Georgia Tech, and Georgia, this campus associated with that. That's going to look really good on my, resume of applying an application. Those are things you start checking the box to say this is worth the spend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if there was something tangible that they could take away from the camp, like a certification, college credit is kind of way out there, but that's also a possibility, partial credit.
Yeah, I think that's all really valued and great insight that we'll definitely keep in mind. Yeah, so that's the time we have. But again, thank you so much for making this time and meeting with us.
Sure. Thank you. You guys did a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna end this out by describing what we're actually doing here. So we're working with it's a little camp inside of Furman University up in South Carolina, known as the Hill Institute. I guess probably Mr. Lore and Mrs. McMinney might have heard of it. At the Hill Institute, if they're up to their children talking about it, since we're working on it currently. This is a 6-day camp where children come to learn. They'll learn about entrepreneurship, working with all companies, getting skills, learning how to build up their company, building up a company, which they're doing throughout the 6 days. They're working with Michelin and many other great CEOs and people, getting advice from them. I currently work on the second year of this camp, and we're looking how do we make people come. And this camp is around $5K for 6 days.
It sounds like there's a lot of value there, though, because they're getting that great experience that kind of Jason touched on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I would assume teachers are probably recommending certain students that for it.
Yes, that is correct. And we're working on getting recommendation letters as something that could come out of this as well. So there will be that tangible item.
Very good.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yes.
Sounds like a fun project.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time. And we look forward to connecting with you all again at some point.
Sure.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Say goodbye, Noah. Oh.